everybody. Welcome to the program today. My name is Helena Gabru, and today we have with us senior journalist Dade Desta. Thank you for being here with us today, and welcome.
Thank you for having me. I like the intro, intro to your show.
Thank you. So I just want to start with a few questions about the current state of Ethiopia. So just first, how would you describe the current situation in Ethiopia to those who are not aware?
Well, we have a very, very massive war going on two sides. And on the one side, we have this Abiy Ahmed's forces attacking from almost all angles, all zeroing in on Tigray. And Abiy Ahmed has a lot of support from the Amhara region and all regions. From Somali region, there are special forces from Afar, I think, a few of them. And then you have international friends again helping him. We're hearing very disturbing reports about non-African actors involved in this offensive. And Isaias Afwerki is also not as a partner, but as totally having it all as a very, very full actor who has his own mission, agenda, all forces deployed. So all these forces joining hands against a small region, Tigray, and so they've encircled from every part of the outside part of Tigray, from the north, from the south, from both east, west. You have this full encirclement, and it's not like when you see the people in Tigray voicing their confidence about overcoming this. It shouldn't make it look like it is an easy task. So you have these full resources deployed against this region with international forces. So every day there are just a lot of hot military theaters happening, offensives happening and being repulsed everywhere. So far, Tigray is holding well and inflicting a lot of damage, and they regroup and come. So you have all these massive forces all around trying to break the defensive lines of Tigray. And Tigray is on a very defensive mode. It hasn't started offensive yet. So far, seems like Tigray is having the way it wants it to be. Although it's not going to be easy because of this all resources and all these countries helping Abiy Ahmed.
And my second question is just, what would you say explicitly, I know you touched on this in your previous answer, but what would you say is the main cause of the conflict and the main actors involved in the conflict?
Okay, I think on the main actors, I tried to touch it a little bit, but on the main cause, it's like the okay. It may be helpful to give you a little bit of background. Ethiopia is now under a federal, they call it multinational federalism. So it's a new arrangement where you have this constitution ratified by all people's nationalities in Ethiopia. And then it is a federalized system, which means decentralized political system. And this is also a new system. Ethiopia used to have traditionally a very unitary, and before that there was a monarchic system. So this is totally a different one. So it allows the nationalities to express themselves culturally and identify themselves with whatever they want and they have. So there are opposition forces that have the antithesis narrative over this system. So Abiy Ahmed disguised himself as one of the APRF, which was the ruling party then, coming in and working hard to deceptively appear as an EPRDF, but I mean, this is not, I'm not making it up because he said it recently in a very open public hearing, but he's not EPRDF. He was ranting an opposition participant who called him EPRDF 2, number 2, and then he said, don't call us EPRDF because we are not EPRDF. We are forces, Bilsagana forces, they call it, prosperity forces that we destroyed EPRDF. No opposition could have ever accomplished. So the two systems are incompatible. There is one, all the regions are subdued by Abiy Ahmed's incursion all the time with his heavy-handed approach of the regions, and now he's tackling the last region that is resisting his grip. So the guy is trying to fight it because it has been retreating, and you know when the forces that are attacking you are coming to the very last landing step, you have your only option is to fight for survival. So that's the situation with Tigray. The Tigray region is just fighting to hold Tigray people, all involved, government, the people. Let me tell you what is not about this. People try to trivialize it like this is a fight between the federal government and the TPLF. It's not TPLF, okay? This has to be boldly stated. It is the Tigray region with all the Tigray, the entire Tigray population. So the fight is Abiy Ahmed's group against, and his supporters, his all enablers against the entire Tigray region and Tigray population. So it's not a law enforcement operation like what Abiy Ahmed said when he started it. He just presented it like it's a law enforcement operation. It is not. It's a massive war going on that is involving the entire federal national resources against Tigray, and it's involving all the actors I listed earlier. And it's not, when he presented it first to the international committee, I think also saying it to the Ethiopian parliament in quotation, because their time has expired. So he said that this has a mission which has clarity, limited and achievable purpose, and he just promised to wind it up in 5 days. As we speak today, it's the 13th day. It's widening up. It's even opening more doors, different actors. So right there, he failed to deliver what he stated as a goal. So if you have to compare his strength when he was starting it, now he's even weaker. So it's not in a way achievable. And the purpose of the war, the goal itself is shifting a lot. It's not about, of course, certainly about law enforcement operation, but it's not even about subduing Tigray, because that's not a possible project. So this is something that Abiy is trying as an impossible, it's like a mathematically impossible project. So it will go on as a conflict, so it has morphed itself to become a sort of a civil war, because it's involving the different regions, and the Amhara region, for example, who have different interests in Tigray, like on territorial ambition. It is regionalized because Eritrea is involved with full force, with all its capacity, and it's internationalized and some sort of Arabized because there are Arab actors as well. So it is something that has morphed to very, very international dynamics without any shape and character to name it. So it's just moving a very unknown territory, to say so.
Mm-hmm. And that goes into the next question, where so there are different media outlets that are reporting that there are interventions of other countries, like you were saying, President Isaias in Eritrea. What do you believe their specific interests are in the Tigray region?
Very good question. So let's start with the primary actors that are in the conflict. What is the interest of Tigray, for example, in this conflict and war? It is fighting for survival. It has to defend itself. That's the last sacred right you have. Finding in a situation like that gives you more power when you fight for your survival. That's why most wars that are launched against the survival of someone cannot succeed in the most cases. When, however, they are led with much concentration of firepower, a lot of human resource, they are difficult to achieve. So, in fact, it's very war of this kind where one side is fighting for its survival, always or mostly wins such conflicts. So today is fighting for its survival. It doesn't have anything to giving, to compromise. It has been giving all it has. It has been compromising. It has been, generously retreating to really not to confront the central or federal forces. And now it has reached a point where it can't move on, or it can't keep on running. So it's Tigray is in Tigray right now. Tigray is not fighting in Bahardar. Tigray is not fighting in Addis Ababa. It's not even fighting in Asmara. It's just in Tigray. So you can't expect Tigray to really run out of Tigray. It's just an impossible project. So that has to be underlined. The other point is Abiy Ahmed. What does he want? He wants just to overrun Tigray, and then he can run the political system like a king. So he wants to be a king, and so he thinks like Tigray is standing on his way. So he just wants to clear that. He's trying to do that. One has to be so insane to go massively for this kind of war, just to overpower a region that is definitely and fairly with its limits. But that's what's about. So Tigray is on the survival. The other Abiy Ahmed is just trying to exert or impose hegemony on that region. And then if he finishes that, then the next would be about going somewhere else, because people of such nature don't satisfy with achieving one thing. They will keep on just pushing it. If it's not within Ethiopia, it could be go out of Ethiopia. So it's the ambition just continues shifting of goals. So now he's focusing on Tigray, and the others are, I think, he has a lot of friends who have been benefiting a lot from his very reckless policies, and his policies don't give priority to advance Ethiopian national interests. So, for example, the United Arab Emirates are there for different advantages, possibly for expanding their sphere of influence over the other side of the Red Sea, and many other economic advantages. So they're trying to help him. Isaiah's interest is a very long one that has been there for so many years. It's just about coming up with vengeance, nothing else. It's not even a grand purpose that you can put a single life at risk, let alone the whole army, just for this to satiate your vengeance interests. So roughly, the actors and their interests look like the one that mentioned now.
Mm-hmm. And recently, Amnesty International reported that the massacre of Maikadra was committed solely by TPLF groups and forces. How much of the statement do you believe to be true, and what is your overall opinion on that statement?
Well, to answer it directly, it's not true at all. There is no semblance of truth in that statement. Why am I saying this? First of all, there are different methodologies you use, they arrive at a reasonable conclusion, and they haven't followed that. That's very unbecoming of them, and it's very unfair. Usually, institutions such as the Amnesty International are known for following very rigorous process of verifying facts and then arriving at logical conclusions, sensible conclusions. But this one, it's very young. I mean, the conflict itself is very young. The violence is very young. Was not been even a week since it started when they released the report. And the Amnesty International has never been quoted as producing a report of this nature that has a very, very sensitive material, and it can fuel the ongoing conflict one way or the other. Has never been known for reporting in such a speedy way. And why this now? Well, speculations are that there are elements within the institutions that handle this reporting, who have some vested interest on swaying the implications of the report. The other thing is, later reporters come that contradict this one. There were Reuters that made a report from the ground. So the victims were people of Tigrayan origin, and the culprits were the other side, the Amhara forces and the Abiy Ahmed's forces. That made it look like that just for this propaganda and mobilization, war support mobilization effort. I mean, how reckless can who is assuming a government power on using these kind of things for such purposes? Very destructive. The other justification for not just doubting but rejecting this statement is, if you know the nature of TPLF and their standard of behavior, they're totally clean of such horrendous acts, even when they were a rebel. I mean, I remember covering all war activities when Ethiopia was in conflict with Eritrea, and I was a journalist eyewitness observing how the Ethiopian army were being trained on humanitarian and human rights issues while conducting war, and in war zones, how they should be protecting civilians, what red lines not to cross, how they should handle without risking themselves, all this. And this was a very intensive training that they were taking. So these are people who they are a government right now, because the fact that they are leading a regional government, and even when they were rebels, what they are known is for handling powers very responsibly and turning them to be their supporters, and you can just definitely say with your eyes blinded that the TPLF would never do that, and not alone endorse. Even there are not just new units that cannot understand about the great situation of doing this. The victims are different, so now reports are coming to really disclose that the Amnesty International is blaming the wrong side. In fact, they're pointing to the very victims themselves. And Amnesty International, I'm just a bit disappointed by them, because they're not even reporting on the ethnic cleansing, ethnic profiling massively happening under their nose in Addis and in the big cities. They're not reporting on the point-blank executions that happened in Zalambasa, where the Ethiopian Abiy Ahmed's forces and Isaiah's forces were jointly holding it for a brief period of time. They just killed like 56 something people, civilians, for no reason. One has to be really bloodthirsty to do that. They were not soldiers. They were not armed. They were not doing anything. They didn't have any part in the war theater going on. So they just killed them for the sake of killing, you can say. So I see a very lopsided handling of the Amnesty International on this. So time will tell what the motive was, why they did it. But it would be fair from here to say that the report is not really worth of the ink that was written, and I hope they have a way of rectifying it and redressing the damage, although the damage is already done.
Mm-hmm. And I also wanted to ask you about, so the Ugandan president invited both the Prosperity Party and TPLF to the country and acted as a mediator in their talks. What do you expect to come from these discussions?
Yeah, well, there are different reports about people, good-meaning people offering offices. Everyone wants, for this war to stop. We want it to stop as Tigrayans, because all these fire force are, landing in our people, all the air bombardments. So the international community are just alarming this ring to stop the war and start talking on issues that are causing this war. So the rumor had is that the Ugandan president offered the office to stop, and we have seen the Abiy Ahmed's people going to Kenya, to Uganda, meeting and talking. There is this problem because Abiy Ahmed said that said that he's not interested in a talk. Only what he wants is just to go capture those 20, 15 people he always mentions, and that will be it. Or I will do, either he wants them to come and report him, or he will go and get them. That's what has been saying to the international government. There is no need for third parties to offer negotiation or offices for a talk. And now, because of the real resistance has received, and they have seen the attempt so far that this is not going to be park walk. He seems to be listening, and of course also the pressure is mounting. So he's kind of playing it both ways. He seems to be interested. He seems to be interested in imposing his forces to Tigray, overpowering Tigray on the one hand, and then he seems to be also embracing the calls for the talk and negotiation. And so he doesn't. They don't want to disclose it, but we know that it's happening. Also, the former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo is also in Addis just for this purpose. The African Union is pushing it. The European Union is pushing the agenda of stop the war and de-escalate and go to round table. So the international community seems to be exerting and mounting the pressure. Abiy seems to be partly embracing, partly trying his luck on the field. So I think this is the update I have.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, those were actually all the questions that I had for you today. So thank you for joining me.
All right. Thank you, Helena. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
appreciate
no problem. And thank you all for joining in. See you guys next time.
All right.